everybody, welcome back to Time-Lapse Drawings with Chris Wharton. I'm Chris Wharton. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you all. 2016 just started a few days ago, and I'm really excited about this year. I've got a lot of things planned for changes for the YouTube channel, and I'm hoping to get to a schedule where I'm actually posting something like one video a week. I figure the video content is going to be a lot like this video. There's going to be some sketchbook stuff. There's also going to be some videos based on the comic books that I'm working on and the illustration work that I do. And maybe even if people are interested, how to draw series. You can leave me a comment in the comment section below and just let me know if you're interested in anything in particular. Today I'm drawing Wake from Jake Parker's new book Skyheart, which he just kickstarted. Now this character had such a fun little fox-like design, I couldn't help but want to try to take a crack at him. Hopefully you guys think I did him justice. I've been getting asked a lot lately about my materials, the type of pencil I use and the type of pens I use, so I thought I'd give you guys a quick overview. The pencil I'm using is basically just a regular drafting lead holder. You can actually find lead holders like this in any office supply store in the States as far as I know. It holds 2mm lead, and I tend to use the turquoise brand lead made by Prismacolor now. I can go back and forth between the blue and the red, but I tend to lean towards the red just because I like the way it looks when I sketch. As for the type of pens that I used to use microns exclusively just because they offered a very clean line and steady stroke, but the problem with them is that you had to build up your lines if you wanted to go from thick to thin to thick or vice versa. So I just recently switched over to the Zebra Brush Sign pens, which I've been finding at jetpens.com or daisojapan.com. And I rely heavily on these now. I can't get enough of how the line quality can just go on beautifully in one stroke versus having to build up your line. Now, to be honest, it's actually one of the first brush pens I tried. I think I tried the Pentel brush pen, but it had a little bit too much saturation in the ink. It just kind of dumped the ink down too fast for me. And I tend to go slow when I ink, even if the way it looks like on the video, it looks like I'm drawing crazy fast. But I tend to be a slow inker, and I want to be very methodical on how my lines go down. And this pen offered a little bit of a cleaner line when I was drawing, so I didn't have to worry about ink seepage going outside of where I wanted the ink to drop. I can't believe I used the word seepage. Anyway, I highly recommend this pen if you're planning on switching over to a brush pen from, say, a micron, just to test it out. It offers a pretty steady line like a micron, but it also allows a lot more play in your line quality. Now around here my daughter got home and we had to go off to her jiu-jitsu practice. So I actually set up camp at one of the benches in front of the jiu-jitsu studio and started coloring. And I broke out my markers, and you can see I've got a bunch of different kinds of markers here, from Prismacolor markers to Blick Studio markers to Copics, and I like them all fairly equally actually. I go back and forth between them all, just trying to get the right colors down, and they all go on fairly smoothly. I tend to also go on as a painter does. I go light to dark, just because that's the way I've always colored. I do that in Photoshop, I do that in colored pencils and things like that, and with markers it's the same thing. I kind of go cell shading, I do one base coat, and then I start to build up from that coat, trying to get the different variances in the tone that I want. Since I was on the go, I was sort of at the mercy of the battery levels in my phone. I set up the stand over my spot, and I was working through this drawing really smoothly, and I was really happy with the way it was coming out. But right about now the battery started going, I don't think so, and went kaput. So I had to stop, and I went back home and I set up camp there and continued my work. I think as an artist, you sort of have to be willing to go with the flow. You got to pick up shop, you got to move around, and draw wherever you can. Sometimes you you can't find the perfect time or wait for the perfect moment to get some stuff done. You never know when you're going to be able to break out a sketchbook and play around and have some fun with it. And this is the only times that you really get to, like, you know, really like experiment with things, when you're just sketching around and trying out new ideas. Be sure to check back again next week to see the full inking and coloring session of this Harry Potter piece. It took about 2 hours to ink and 3 hours to color, consolidated into a 24-minute video. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my drawing, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to me and share this video around. Also, I'm on Patreon, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook, but I'm thinking about updating my Facebook to be a public account. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you have a great one. Oh, and if you haven't already, go check out my webcomic, Giant, which is actually giantcomic.com. See you all next time.